Everyone is celebrating that little girl's birthday. Everyone is excited about the commemorative date. So after singing happy birthday, a man says it's time to pop the balloon. That's why they pop the balloon full of confetti on top of the birthday girl, but end up finding an animal among the confetti, leaving the little girl scared. The father asks what that means, and his wife blames the maid, saying that she did this to their daughter, and that she did everything badly. The maid tries to defend herself, saying that the balloon she bought was stuffed with confetti and sweets, and she doesn't know how that happened. She hugs the birthday girl, stating that she can be calm, because that it's just a toy lizard, nothing more. Also, the confetti she can clean afterwards without problem. But the boss says that she only had one job. The woman calls her useless and says that she is just stupid. The father of the girl orders the maid to take his daughter to get cleaned up, and he says that if this is some kind of prank buy, he make it clear that this is not funny. His wife says that the employee made his daughter feel ashamed in front of everyone, and that he needs to fire her immediately. The husband says that they can't be too hasty. He is sure that there is an explanation for everything, including that moment. The man also apologizes to each of the guests, and says that his daughter can go clean up. The wife continues to disagree, saying that it is one mistake after another on the part of the maid. She says she's going to start to suspect all of this, and think that her husband is in love with the maid. The husband says that his wife has gone crazy, and wants to know how she has the nerve to say that. He thinks the wife could at least get a little education. The wife then tells him to do as he pleases, but that things are not going to stay the way they are. The man then apologizes for the episode, and goes after his wife. Later, the maid is cleaning the child. She says that she is sorry for what happened to the birthday girl, that she had to go through this at this special moment. The little girl says she can rest easy, because she thinks her stepmother did it, since she hates her. The maid asks her not to say these things, because she is sure that her stepmother does not hate her. But the girl says she knows it was her, because her stepmother herself said she would put a surprise inside the balloon. And she's pretty sure her dad wants to get to know the maid better because he seems to like her a lot. The maid asks the little girl not to talk like that, because she will end up getting into trouble if the mistress hears something like that. But the little girl thinks that if they both like each other, they should stay together. The cleaning lady thinks the little girl is getting confused, and says that would also be an impossible love. She says that the girl is very young, and doesn't understand these things very well, and she just thinks that she needs to stop talking about it, because 1 hour they might end up listening to her. And if they hear this, it is very likely that they will fire the maid. At the door, he appears to be happy to see the connection the girl has with that woman, and it doesn't seem possible that he would fire her. The little girl says she doesn't want her to leave. They don't even realize that the father is watching everything from afar. He leaves, perhaps even more convinced of his feelings for that woman who takes such good care of his daughter. Later, he goes after his wife, and says he doesn't know what's going on, because his daughter and the maid are taking too long. He thinks the guests will stress out because the birthday girl is taking too long. The wife doesn't know why the husband can't fire the maid at once, because she doesn't know how to do anything and is useless. She's taking her time just to do one simple thing. The husband says that he can't just come and fire the employee like that he needs to think before making that decision. And he says that the wife does not have this sensitivity to recognize people, but the maid is an excellent employee, who is always there to help them in everything. Also, he scores how much his daughter likes that woman. The wife says he doesn't realize the damage he's doing. According to her, he is choosing the side of the maid, but the husband says that first he needs to talk to the maid so that she can explain everything that happened at the party. Only after that, they will be able to make a decision. The wife then asks if he is in love with the maid, because it seems like that, because he is always defending her from all confusion. The husband asks how she can say such a thing, and how it could even cross her mind. He says it's not simply because he likes her, but because the maid is a very important person for the family. After all, she practically raised his daughter, and his daughter loves the maid. And when the daughter's mother died, it was the employee who assumed this role, who was always present in his daughter's life. But his wife tells him to stop it, that it's just talk. The husband who tells her to stop, and accuses her of creating trouble. However, the woman asks him to stop trying to justify himself, and demands him to tell the truth about liking the maid. Then the daughter enters the room, and she said that her father really likes the maid, But the father asks the daughter not to say these things. And the maid calls the little girl to get out of there. And the wife asks the husband to see the way his daughter teases her, and it's disrespectful. She says that her husband should punish them both. The woman says she is sure that the child is being manipulated by the maid. But the husband says that his wife has to calm down, because what she is saying is illogical, because his daughter is a child, and children romanticize everything. He says that what matters most is that they will have a child. But before he touches his wife's belly, she quickly stops him. She says that her husband knows very well that she doesn't like to have her belly touched. The woman says her pregnancy is risky, and he knows it very well. The husband just wants to ask his wife a favor, that day be a very special one for his daughter. And he guarantees that it will be just that. And then they can talk about whatever the wife wants. He says they must go, for the guests are waiting. So the wife asks the husband to go ahead, as she needs to sort out some things. The husband agrees and leaves the wife alone in the kitchen. Meanwhile, the maid calls out to the little girl what she had been talking about, even more so in front of her mother. But the little girl refuses to say that her stepmother is her mother. The cleaning lady says that the stepmother is very fond of the girl and her father, so she says she's going to organize some things around the house, and the girl can go see the guests. Meanwhile in the kitchen, the woman doesn't even notice that the girl is spying on her, and ends up taking the balloon she uses to fake her pregnancy. She is relieved to take the balloon off for a while as it was getting too hot, and says that's what she does for a fortune, but thinks it's a sacrifice worth it. And when she gets the money, she'll get rid of the maid and the kid. Then she puts the balloon back on, knowing that she has to get back to work, and not realizing that the little girl was watching from the corner of her eye. At the party, the little girl thanks everyone for being there that moment, which is her birthday, and says that to continue her speech, she would like to call her father and stepmother. She suggests that she needs the two of them to be right by her side. So the two approach, without even imagining what she plans. The child explains that she would like to make a surprise for both of them, and also for all the guests. The father asks what surprise is this, and she replies that he'll see, and the stepmother tells her to hurry. Then she says she wants everyone to meet her brother, and pops the balloon in her stepmother's belly. Everyone is surprised by what happened, and the husband asks how this is possible, and wonders if this whole time she was faking a pregnancy. The woman gets nervous, trying to find an explanation, and the daughter tells her father that her stepmother was faking everything, that she listened while the woman said that she was only with him because of the money. The man says he now understands why she always wanted to fire the maid. As if that weren't enough, she still wanted to somehow end the love for his daughter. The woman says that the girl only disturbed the relationship, and that he will understand when the child is gone, and that way she will be able to explain everything. But the man says that the only person who will leave is the woman, and orders her to leave immediately. She begs him not to do this to her. The woman claims he needs to listen the truth, and when she approaches, the man orders her not to touch his daughter, and to leave immediately. He then apologizes to the guests for all the embarrassment that happened at the party. Then he asks them to leave, totally embarrassed by the situation. He also asks the maid's forgiveness. But she says it's okay, and he doesn't need to apologize for anything. She says it's normal for him to suspect her, since it's the maid's word against the wife's. The daughter then says that her father is single, and now he can confess to the maid. And the father asks what she is talking about. The maid tries to stop the little girl from doing this, but the man interrupts her, saying that his daughter is really right, after all. He looks at the woman in a different way for a long time. My heart beats faster when I'm in front of you, and honestly, it's been hard to keep it in all this time, the man declares to her. The woman then says she feels the same way about him. In the end, the new family embraces, while everyone at the party celebrates this beautiful scene.